So, when I got married, I went on a honeymoon to Savannah with obviously with my husband. and Savannah is just full of these old like parks and main streets and things like that to walk down. So, anyways, we got a drink and we were just walking down one of these main streets. And y'all, I was so proud of this man I just married. I was just beaming. I was so happy. So I have this drink in one hand and my bag in the other one and shades on. And I was probably wearing some great outfit. I'm on my honeymoon. And I'm just walking down the street, just proud as a peacock and just, yeah, enjoying the sights down this main street. And along the sidewalks, there would be like benches to sit on every once in a while. And on one of these benches was this kind of tattered looking guy. I don't know if he was homeless or not, but not too bad looking. He was okay looking, but you can tell he's just maybe not showered lately. So anyways, I'm walking down the sidewalk and about to pass this bench with this guy sitting on it. And my husband is on the other side of me. And the man, I was about to pass him and I just glanced at him, just to acknowledge him. And he gave me this really nice compliment. And just in passing, I was like, well, thank you. And I just kept going, just my drink and celebrating it up because I was just so proud of, being married to this handsome guy. And the guy, he immediately stood up and he started following behind me and my husband, going down this sidewalk, down this main street. And I'm just kind of minding my own business, just looking at these shops as I'm passing by them. And these other people that would be passing us on the sidewalk, once they got to that guy behind us, the guy would be like, do you know who that is? And he's pointing at me. And honestly, oh my gosh. Okay, you got to know. My husband, he is super tall. And he's like this big football player guy, and the way he dresses and he had sunglasses on, he probably looked like, I don't know, like some security agent guy, and so it probably looked like he was like my bodyguard just walking with me down the street. And this guy, he kept telling everybody, he's like, do you know who that is? Don't you know who that is? And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but maybe he'll, go away eventually. But he didn't. And this is going on like 5 minutes. Everybody that's passing us, he is stopping and turning them around and being like, don't you know who that is? And so my husband, he was getting a little bit tired of this. He wasn't sure how this was going to end. So he kind of leads me across the street and takes my arm and just kind of leads me into this shop that was on the other side of the street. And he's like, okay, you stay in there and I'm going to go take care of this guy. And so luckily the guy didn't follow us across the street. He stopped, where we crossed, but he didn't get off that sidewalk on the other side of the street. Thank goodness. I would not want my husband dealing with somebody because he means business. And so now, years later, just as an inside joke between me and my husband, sometimes we'll stop each other and be like, don't you know who I am? Oh, and we'll just always remember that. And that was probably just my one tiny shining moment at almost being a celebrity, or at least someone thinking I'm a celebrity, which was kind of cool. They didn't know who I was, or even what I looked like. I was covered in shades and I don't know what I was probably I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. I was probably just walking confidently and airing just all this positivity and Remember, I was just so proud. I just got married. I was happy. And then I had this bodyguard looking guy by me. And so the impression we gave off was something famous and cool. But don't you know who I am? So that kind of brings me to a little theme I want to talk to you about today is, do you know who you are? Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are? So, a lot of people, they'll base their value or their self-worth off of how other people treat them. I'll just say you. Based off of how they treat you or how successful you may be or by how perfectly you're living your life. You're like, okay, one of those things that makes me feel like I have a lot of value or a lot of self-worth. So the problem with those three things, how people treat you, how successful you are, or how good you think you're doing in life, those things are not permanent. Those things could change anytime, you know? And so if those things can change, then that would kind of make your opinion of yourself or your value, your self-value, change also. And so, like how people treat you, people are so not perfect. We have our bad days too. And, one day some guy will just think you're the best thing in the world and couldn't live without you. And the next day, oh, I don't need her. No, I'm fine. Whatever, and they just drop you. And it's like, if you based your value off of some guy liking you, like teenagers, they're like, oh, this guy loves me. He likes me. Yay. We're dating or so. And I'm just so special. Have all this self-worth and, but then when they break up or he just moves on or whatever, and then we take it so personally and we're just like, oh, man, what's wrong with me? We let our self-worth or our value go down. All because of someone else changed, And for how successful you are. Some people base their value off of having a title after their name, like doctor or CEO or, something big like that. Or off of their achievements, like getting a new car or that brand new phone or a big house, or a higher position at work or something. And you base your value and your self-worth off of that, those achievements, and those too can change. If for some reason they were taken away, then where is your self-worth? How do you feel about yourself, What if you couldn't work as a doctor anymore? They had to take that title off of your name. What if you had to move out of that big house into a smaller house? What if your car got wrecked and you didn't have that nice new car? What if you dropped your phone and it cracks and you don't have a nice new phone anymore? See, all of those things can change, and when those things break or are taken away, you think your value goes down. You feel your self-worth go down because you don't have those things anymore. And some people don't like themselves because they've made mistakes in life. Who hasn't? But sometimes those mistakes can be so big in our mind, like, oh, I'm addicted to this, or like you have drug problems or alcohol problems or depression and these addictions and these situations, or you've done something really stupid in your life, and you just can't let it go. You can't forget it, and it just brings you so much shame every time you think about it. And so that pulls your self-esteem down. That makes your self-worth and your value just fall to the floor. And they're just things that you've done. That doesn't mean that those mistakes are you. They're just things that you did. Of course you can feel bad about something that you did, but that's not you. That doesn't put any value. That doesn't decrease your value of you. Okay? So what you need to know is the truth And your value is based off of knowing that you are a child of God, the Almighty God. You are His child, literally. Okay? That's where your value comes from, is knowing that you are a child of God. Yeah, okay, let that sink in for a minute. Because how someone treats you or what they may say, that doesn't change your value. You may get the bigger house or the fancier car, phone, or a new toy, or a new kitchen, but that's not going to increase your value, your self-worth. Okay? Mistakes you've made, they're not going to define you. They don't place any value on you. They don't lower your value. Like if you took a $20 bill and you crumbled it up and rubbed it in dirt and held it up, is it still worth $20? Yes. Just because crap happened to it, or it been through some crap or dirt, it did not lower its value. It would still be the same value. Same thing with you, okay? It don't matter what you have, what you don't have, how people treat you, anything that people say, okay? Your value does not go down because you are a child of God. If you base your value on what someone thinks about you, or if they approve you or not, if you're living for their opinion on how they think your life should be or what kind of person they think you should be, if you're putting your self-worth and your value on that, on their support, on their encouragement, on their validation, then if for some reason, if they don't give that to you, you're going to feel devalued. You're going to feel like crap. I used to do this with my husband a lot. I wanted his approval so much. I would do all these things around the house, and then when he got home from work, I'd be waiting for this. Oh, Cheryl, you did such a nice job cleaning this up. Oh, Cheryl, I love this dinner that you made. Oh, Cheryl, I can tell you've been working hard all day. I didn't get those things. And I felt like crap because I'm just like, doesn't he see what I've done? See, I was looking for his validation. I was looking for his approval. I was thinking, oh, if he saw those things, he'd be impressed with me and he would like me more. Just saying it out loud, I'm just like, what the heck? What kind of thinking is that? Okay? If we do things like that for other people's approval, for their acknowledgement, for their support, and when we don't get it, we're going to feel devalued. And that sucks. So if you don't know who you are without those people, then if they leave, you'll be totally lost. See, I had to remember before I got married to him, I knew who I was. And that's why I was happy. That's why I was confident. That's what attracted him to me, because I was my own person. I knew who I was, and I wasn't afraid to let it shine, you know? But then when I got married, my mind shifted, and I was just like, okay, I want his approval. I want his acknowledgement. I want his love and support and all these good feelings to keep going, And it's like I forgot who I was just because I got married. See, a title went after my name, married, wife, okay? And so this went on for a long, long time. I got more depressed because I felt like crap. My self-worth was dropping, felt my value was dropping, to the point where I was starting to say, why am I here? What good am I around here? You would just be fine without me. You see how I just threw my value away as if I did not matter just because I was looking for someone else's acknowledgement. You see? Now, just to clear the air here, it's not like he meant to ignore those things. He doesn't know I needed that, you know? He can't read my mind or my feelings, you know? But aside from that, he loves me. He loves me dearly, you know? And he does appreciate everything I do. But he just doesn't vocalize it, you know, as much as I would love. But you know what? To know my value and to be happy with myself and to realize how awesome of worth that I have, I had to stop worrying about what he was thinking and just remember and know I'm a child of God. Okay? There is nobody bigger than that man. Okay? Nobody bigger. And if I'm a literal child of him, that makes me a princess. Okay? Or if you're a guy, it makes you a prince. Because he's the king. And so his offsprings are going to be princesses and princes. Okay? So think about that literally, okay? We're down here having an earthly experience. You know, we're not running around with crowns and tiaras or anything. But inside, guess what? This is us. We're going through, you know, slaying these dragons in life, you know? And we're going through this tribulation. And when we forget who we are, that's when we start feeling down and like we're going to lose and that we're just not succeeding in life. Okay? But when we remember who we are, oh man, you can feel the value and you go up, you know? You change your posture, you change how you look at people, you change how you talk to people, you change how you think about yourself inside. Cuz you're like, "You know what? How would a child of God act in this situation? Or what would a child of God think in this situation?" You know, you don't get offended that easy anymore. You're just like, okay, that person is that person. But me, it's like, I know who I am. I'm just going to keep on trucking and doing my thing. So, you don't need people to tell you who you are. You don't have to base your value off of them or anything that they say. You get your value and your approval from God. And if you need to, pray to Him and just ask Him, say, hey, God, I have no idea what I'm worth right now. I don't feel any value. This and this and this happened to me. I just feel like crap. I've been in depression for years. I can't seem to get out of it. God, could you just do me a solid today and just let me feel your love for me? Could you please let me know what my value is? Just a glimpse. I need a glimpse so I can know and feel my value. And God will validate you. He will, but you got to ask. You got to ask Him. We have our free agency, you know. He can't just force a feeling onto us. He can't force a situation on us or anything like that. Okay, we have to go and ask. Ask for that approval. Ask for that feeling. Ask for that love, and He will give it to you. Okay, He's God. He can do anything. All right? So, there's a story about these two watches. And they look exactly the same. I mean, they're watches, you know, and they look a lot alike. They both tell time. They're both working. I mean, they side by side, they look pretty much alike. But one was $50 and the other one was $20,000. Two watches looking a lot of like, both work, both tell time, seem nice, but either one of them you'd think you could, you know, go into Walmart and buy. But why was one worth so much more? Does it matter if it was made of leather or anything? I don't know. They were probably both made of leather, but why would one be $50 and the other one's so much more? When they look exactly the same, they both work, they both tell time. See, it mattered because of the maker of the watch, the manufacturer of the watch. Okay? The expensive watch, it was made by this world famous watchmaker. He was so prestigious, with his craft and the way he did it and for how long he's been doing it and just how intricate this thing was. And he was famous for it all over the world. So when a watch is made by him, it is worth so much more. The value of it, okay? It's crazy. That much for a watch, I know. But your creator, your manufacturer is God. Okay? So think about that. You may be a person, how many people are there around? How many people have there ever been? What makes you different from anybody else? We kind of look the same, kind of do the same, we kind of work the same, but what makes your value you? And it was who made you, your creator, your manufacturer, Almighty God. You can't get more prestigious than that, okay? You, me, we are made by the most prestigious maker there ever is, ever gonna be. That's it. The highest one. Okay? You can't get more prestigious than that. Our value is up. Okay? It can never go down. It just is. Our value is that. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how people treat us, no matter what happens, no matter what we get or don't get, our value never changes because of who we are, who made us. Our value is up there high, and it is always high. Whether we feel it or not, our value is always high. All right? And you're like, well, Cheryl, you don't know. You don't know what I've been through because I'm damaged goods. I was abused when I was a kid. I was raped. I was kidnapped. I was addicted to different things. You're like, you don't know, Cheryl. It's like those things tear you down. They make you feel like crap. They rip your life apart. And you know what? They do. Okay? There are some horrible, traumatic things that happen to us, and they will grind your face in the dirt and make you feel less than anything. You won't even feel like a person. You won't even feel like a shadow of a person. Okay? And you do forget who you are. And that makes me so sad because there's a lot of that going on in the world. There are so many people that have forgotten who they are and their value, their self-worth. And of course, they're going to be so just traumatized and hurt and sad and angry and frustrated. And that sometimes things like that happen in life, but it does not ever, ever decrease your value. And I am so sorry that people will treat you just horribly. They'll make you feel just awful. Feelings are just so powerful that we'll believe them. When we feel them, we'll believe them. But you know what? It does not change your value. And you don't have to believe it. Whether you do or not, it still isn't going to change your value. You're a child of God. You're so prestigious. Whether you remember it or not, whether you feel it or not, whether you realize it or not, it just is. You just are. If you think you've messed up too many times or that you're not worthy of God's love, you're not worthy of anybody's love, maybe you don't think you have ever earned anybody's concern or love or appreciation, including God's. You do not have to earn God's love. You do not have to earn anybody's concern. You don't have to worry about what other people think or say. Remember, don't put your value on that. But you do not have to worry about earning God's love because you already have it. He loves you as if you were an only child, his only child. God has the capacity to love you like that much. There's nothing he wouldn't do for you. He sent Jesus Christ to die for you. I mean, he sent him to die for everybody, but he has the capacity to love you as if you were the only child, and he would still send a savior for you. Okay? He loves you that much. You don't have to earn it, so you don't have to qualify for God's love. He loves you more than you'll understand, just as you are right now. Not for anything that you could do, not for anything that you could say or do for anybody. He loves you exactly as you are right now. So just feel good with that. You can feel peace with that. Okay? You can look at yourself, and no matter how you feel about yourself or your situation, it's not a crazy thing. That's my cuckoo clock going off. So, knowing that, just cut yourself some slack, man. Just give yourself a break. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. You know, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody is. Every single day, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. Okay, so just take a deep breath and give yourself a break. Give yourself some slack. All right? So people, they can't constantly give us that appreciation and concern and love and acknowledgement. Like, I wish my husband could. Oh, I would feel just great if he constantly just gave me all that love and looked at me with loving eyes and gave me hugs and kisses and just, held on to me all the time. That would just, make me just so happy and giddy, But nobody can do that constantly, okay? So we don't need to depend on that for our self-worth or value. No more, okay? So we're going to leave that in God's hands, not people's hands, okay? Just throw all of your value and expect those kinds of things from God, okay? And talk to him about it, all right? Because people aren't perfect, but God is. So we all start from the bottom. We all got to start somewhere when we're on this self-worth journey or realizing our value. Everybody starts at the bottom, and, we're all going to be at different levels at realizing our value. And there's going to be up and down days when we're going to realize it or not. Sometimes we will forget, but it's okay. It's all right. You'll remember. And you'll realize that when you do remember, you have such better days. You just handle things better. Your thinking is better. Your emotions are better. You handle people, even the little people that are driving you crazy, like my little toddler, because you'll remember who you are and you'll remember who they are. You're very special and they're very special, okay? And you'll start treating each other better. You just do, but sometimes you're going to forget that, and tempers go. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to raise our voices sometimes, but you know what? We'll get back on track and we'll try to do better the next day. That's life, right? So, anytime, here's a little tidbit for you. We're going to close real quick here. Anytime you get a bad thought about your value, or, you know what, we'll just go with an example. You wanted this position in a job and you didn't get it. You worked your butt off and you felt like you deserved it, or you might need it. You might need this higher position. You might need more money, but you didn't get it. Okay? So here's that thought going through your head. You're like, man, I'm not worth anything. I didn't get it. Someone else did. I feel like I deserve it. Why aren't they seeing me? See, so I'm not validated. So we're going to take that thought, you know, that's landed on our shoulder, and we're just going to flip it off. Not flip it off, but flip it off. Just get rid of that thought. Sometimes just the action of doing something like that really helps our mindset just to let it go. Okay? I didn't get it. That's all right. I still got stuff. I got me. I got a bunch of value. I can go out there and try something else. I could do something else. Okay? You're not a mistake. God don't make mistakes. All right? The mistakes we made. Man, I wish when I was 20 years old, I didn't treat this person very nicely, and just thinking about it just makes me cringe inside, like, oh, how could I be such a horrible person? There's that thought. We're going to flip it off. Shake it off, shake it off. You know who I'm singing. That's a good song. Get that in your head, because it's kind of true. Just shake it off, flip it off. All right? So this is Cheryl Phillips. I'm going to sign off for right now. Hope you enjoyed it. You're going to get more of these and a lot more bonuses, actually, of seminars and workshops just like this, talking about our feelings, attitudes, and behaviors and how we can change the trajectory of our life path and getting our self-worth realized again and stepping up our game on how we can have a happier, more successful life, because it all depends on you. And I'm going to give you the tools, tips, tricks, everything I've ever learned. I'm going to give it to you.